What makes us feel good? Of course, it's a little different for everyone. For some people, it could be spending time with family and friends. For others, it could be finally getting that victory royale in Fortnite. For others, it could even be finding the perfect paint color to match the new window treatment. Mom. But actually, what makes us feel good are the chemicals inside of our brains. We have multiple happy chemicals inside of our brains that make us stronger human beings. For example, oxytocin. Oxytocin is the chemical that motivates you to trust others and to find safety and companionship. Having motivation to trust others is a big part of something that I made up called the Boomerang effect. In order to have the ability to give your boom to the world, you have to have that motivation to trust, and you have to have that grit. The boom is the positive action you give out to the world, and the boomerang is the response the world gives you back. Small acts can have a big impact when the intent behind them is to make someone feel good. For example, we took kickboxing classes for about a month this year, and one day Skylar and I were partners. Every time I kicked the bag, Skylar gave me an uplifting comment about it, and even though it wasn't the biggest thing, it still made me feel good. So, every time Skylar kicked the bag, I gave him an uplifting comment in return. Boom! Boomerang! Now, another example I know some of our students will be able to relate to is someone we all know of, Terrence. Terrence is the trolley driver who we would see almost every day while we were at the park for recess. Terrence was a boomerang that kept coming back again and again. It really all started last year when we kept running into him. And then after seeing him a few times, we would start to wave to him. After waving to him a few times, he would start to notice us more and more, and eventually he would start to ring his little bell at us. And then after that was our little thing, Mrs. T suggested that we learn his name. So we did our research. We ended up taking advantage of knowing his name and would scream it to him from across the street. Can you please play the video now? Okay, well, we screamed Terrence's name. And then, so now, as you can see, we still see him all the time this year. And before we knew it, we actually got invited to go on his trolley, and we learned a lot about him and his life. This was around Christmas time, and little did we know he had been battling an illness. And he actually used our yells of, Terrence! As a motivation of positivity. So not only were we looking forward to seeing him, but he was looking forward to seeing us. So last Thursday, we gave him a thank you and going away present because we actually learned that he was retiring soon, and we really wanted to wish him a great rest of his life and to treat himself well. Now, if you ask me, that's what I call a true boomerang. It started with a little wave and ended up in this huge friendship we all started having. Another happy chemical we have in our brain is dopamine. Dopamine is what motivates us to get what we need done even when it takes a lot of effort. And that's where the grit comes in. Grit is taking the effort and putting in the strength to not only build ourselves to be a hardworking person, but a stronger person. Take this showcase, for example. Trust me, it's not as easy being up here as we make it look. Yeah, we have all really stepped up the effort and the grit game. Even though in some situations, whether it was practicing, coming up with our idea, or even just working out our scripts, it might have been a little stressful, but we have all supported each other and passed on the grit to help make this happen. Boom! Boomerang! Earlier in the year, while we were at PE, we had a plank contest, and whoever stayed up the longest won. But I honestly think we all forgot about the winning. We were not only cheering for the people on our team, but for everyone and ourselves. Throughout this whole thing, someone had started to say stuff like, "Come on everyone, you got this." And by the end, we were all saying it. And by that, I mean everyone was saying it. I could also feel the positive energy that people were giving themselves. So not only were we using grit, but we were using the what effect? Boomerang! Now, I challenge you to the Boomerang Challenge. How that works is you have to give a boom out to the world and see when or if you get a boomerang in return. Now, this isn't an official thing that you have to post about on Facebook or anything. It's just something that I made up because I feel it can help the world become more positive. It could really impact the world because the more positive energy people gain, the more could be passed on. It's also a very good skill to have because the more you're around positive people, or the more people are positive to you, you can eventually take in all that grit and the positivity and take it amongst yourselves when needed. Because sometimes in the situations where you need it the most, you might not have anyone to give it to you, so you can give it to yourself. Without further ado, keep strengthening your happy chemicals, pass on the positive vibes, and keep strengthening your boom, boomer, and